Max, does being there give you a different perspective on this disaster?
Well, it does, Lexi. I mean, you stand at the end of a street like this, just a normal suburban street, and there is water right down the street, right up to homes, and in some cases through homes. And it's a scene that's been unfortunately repeated again and again across Rockhampton. But something that we've noticed since we got here is the sense of humour that people are keeping up. I was speaking to the Mayor, Brad Carter, a short time ago. He said a couple of residents said to him, hey, Southerners pay $1 million for a water view like this. Well, I can tell them that that water view is going to be around for at least another 10 days. That's how long the authorities fear that these floods could last. Now, our reporter Mark Sulo's been out amongst it. Mark, it's just unbelievable, isn't it?
It is incredible, Max, and when you fly in and see all that vast area of water, it's a bit reminiscent of the top end in the monsoon season, and I think they're coping with it pretty well indeed, as you said. In fact, the Disaster Management Committee has been organising hundreds of people, and one of the things they've now set up in Gladstone is a portable medical base, a field hospital if you like, and it can cope with 25 patients at any one time, and a lot of them could be trauma victims. In fact, the man who's in charge of that says it can do almost anything.
Anything that a hospital can deal with. We have a medical team here, specialist doctors and nurses that work in the emergency department, and we replicated everything that they've got there in this facility here.
And closer here in Rockhampton, they've also set up another base, an air base, to replace the airport, of course, which went underwater, and the water there's been going up today, so they've had to, in fact, open a new air base to allow the choppers to come in to rescue people to take to that trauma centre if they need to. And they've moved 60,000 litres of fuel across to that air base today because that fuel was not accessible anymore at the airport. And the people there too are volunteers, more SES, more fire and rescue, more police working around the clock. In fact, they're doing a sensational job.
Well, you look at this last year in October, November, December last year, we were running major fires in Rockhampton. Those same people, the SES, all of the crews here, police, ambulance, the council, etc., are doing that similar level of activity again in a major flood. It's just it's pretty incredible to see.
And of course they're keeping their fingers crossed. They're preparing for the worst. I think they're ready for the worst, Max. Let's just hope it doesn't come and the preparations that haven't, won't cause a problem.
Good on you. Absolutely incredible. Thanks for that, Mark Sulo. Now, of course, mercifully, in some communities, the water is starting to recede, but the problem isn't over for them. There are warnings tonight about coming home and cleaning up your house if you're somewhere like in Emerald, or if you're like in Theodore, and finding poisonous snakes in the house, so much so that they've shipped anti-venin to those areas. So, Lexi, the problem is not over here. The floods are still rising, and we'll be back tomorrow with more coverage.
OK, well, thanks, Max, certainly, and to our team in Rockhampton. Well, relief payments for victims of Queensland's floods will total hundreds of millions of dollars. Prime Minister Julia Gillard has announced grants of up to $25,000 for small business owners and more than $1,000 for every adult with immediate needs. Ms Gillard has also fielded offers of help from overseas.
I have had an approach from the Prime Minister of New Zealand.
The US Embassy in Canberra has also offered assistance. And opposition leader Tony Abbott toured Emerald and Dalby today. He apologised to cleaning homeowners for visiting at such a bad time and says it's important the disaster relief criteria is consistent.
That's what we're here to try to make sure, that that government is helping, not getting in the way.
Mr Abbott says it's an epic flood disaster. Well, the Victorian Premier joins us now. Now, Premier, just tell us, what's it like watching the disaster unfolding up here?
Well, for most Victorians, I think it's reminiscent of recent disasters that we have struggled through, whether it's been bushfires, whether it's been floods in September, November and December in Victoria. But obviously the scale of what's happening for Queensland is far beyond anything we've experienced.
Now, how useful did you find cold, hard cash after Black Saturday?
There's absolutely no doubt that there's a need for governments to step in and to assist people through these initial phases. The appeal fund that was struck in Victoria was an enormous success, and it was critical to getting through those bushfires. And Victorians, I invite them to contribute as well to the appeal fund, just as Queenslanders contributed 2 years ago to our bushfire appeal fund.
All right, thanks so much, Premier. Of course, any help, as we all know, is greatly appreciated.
Well, I wish you all well, and as I say, we stand ready to help. We have a number of SES personnel there already, and we are preparing to supply and roll out more as required.